Hello and welcome back once again. So this time we'll just set the time to our favorite time. And what would that be? 1, 2, 3. That's a good one. It's a good time. Okay, so my favorite time of day. Let's use another slider. How accurate? Well, hang on, let's check. It's pretty inaccurate, like sort of like that. Okay, it's collecting data now. Okay. Well, so I did read online slightly just to figure out that this game doesn't actually end, like, for real. So, hang on, the volume is kind of high here. Let me turn it down slightly for myself in my headset. Yeah, so the game doesn't actually end, like, for real. So I'm just gonna get like a few more endings, I'm thinking, and then we'll call it a day. So this is apparently one of them.
Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Okay, well that was one new ending. And I think there are a few bucket endings we haven't gotten yet, so let's try to...
What could it mean?
Let's try to get... I know which one I want to end with.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Because I did read and figure out that there's like a set amount of endings that you can get, and they all just restart the game. So
warmth spread.
We have not done the bucket a lot.
With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way.
I don't think we took the bucket to...
Stanley had felt the bucket calling to
the lift
ever. That the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
I did not.
No,
said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But
sure they
Stanley
can.
chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Okay, well now...
In here,
said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
I did indeed.
Now pick up the phone,
said the bucket.
Pick up the...
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke.
Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy.
I guess there's going to be one.
Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
Okay, more instructional videos.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds?
I hope so.
Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes.
Hooray!
Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body.
At least don't lower it.
These are the optimal
could be bad.
conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm dunny with the funny" now.
I'm dunny with the funny.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Well, now we know how to make jokes.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Okay, this is gonna turn out not well, probably.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
Well, why did you watch the video then? Okay, well, let's see what happens this time. Okay, so far, nothing too crazy. Okay, here we go.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
I did not. Okay, here we go.
What? We're back at the phone already? No, what's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to.
And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video.
No, I don't want to watch it again.
Surely that will help me improve my...
Please don't make me watch it again.
You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
We did not.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Okay, let's try it this time. Let's see what happens.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone.
I tried.
Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Stanley, you love the bucket so much.
Oh God, we're here again.
It's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal, I think I saw it playing guitar. No.
That's so stupid.
No, we're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
Oh God. Please. Okay.
All of his co-workers...
What could it mean?
What
okay,
could it mean?
So
Stanley
I think we have
decided to
one
go
more
to the
bucket
meeting room.
thing we can
Stanley
do.
picked up the bucket and smiled.
Oh, we have two, I
He'd never be
think.
alone again. Not
We'll see.
alone. Not
See what happens.
bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
So we're gonna pick up
Stanley
the
had
phone
felt
with the bucket this
calling
time.
to
I think that's gonna be
telling him
different.
That the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind.
The bucket was wrong.
It was wrong.
Go to the meeting room,
took the
Stanley.
bucket left to go back to the meeting room.
No.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
Have we gone here with the
Go
bucket?
there. Go to the cargo lift.
I don't think so. Let's see what happens with the bucket down here. Okay, cutscene.
This is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up.
Is this Stanley's voice?
How many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feel so. What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
Okay. That went well. I think
his co-workers.
there's still.
What could it mean?
Jesus.
Stanley
I
decided
think
to
there's
go to the
still
meeting room.
2 bucket endings we can get.
Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
I wish we could
Stanley
have a
felt
sprint
the bucket
button.
calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
The bucket is never wrong.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes, good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about
What
this.
happens if we jump down on the
He was
cardboard
firmly
boxes?
convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Okay, let's answer the phone this time.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Okay, so I wonder how different it's going to be this
is the
time.
sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
It can speak to me. What are you saying?
The
Oh,
Stanley
shit.
Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Take me back home?
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me. Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me.
Yes?
It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal. It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
It does have a nice shine to it.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid.
Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
I played the demo.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket? Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to go with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation. Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
No, it's mine. Fucking crazy freak. Okay, now things are different.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge...
I have one more idea before we go for the ending. I think I'm going to end the game with.
Correct? No, never mind.
I haven't seen it, but I just read it, and it's like, that sounds like kind of fun.
Back to the meeting room.
I didn't read it in detail, just like sort of the general outline.
Meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
If we drop down on the cardboard boxes, we should be fine, right?
But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
Okay, well that was not it. Okay, well I think I know.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Okay, that closes, okay.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What else have we not done with the bucket?
A humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Have we done the bucket?
This was not the correct way.
Down.
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling
down in the fucking elevator place.
The lounge was simply the place to be.
And let's try a few more before we
turned out to be correct.
Try to end things.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Okay, here we go.
Took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section.
And then we went down here.
Opposite door.
Now I don't remember if we ever took the bucket down here. Let's see.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Have we seen this?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley.
Yeah, we have seen this. Okay. There's two more things I want to try.
All of his co-workers were gone.
I really want a sprint button, that's
Stanley
for sure.
Decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply...
The embrace of an old friend.
Indeed.
A weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, and then... some weird sound out there.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was...
Oh, Stanley. Can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket?
Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments.
Hey, fuck
Expand
you,
on
broom
the wide
closet.
variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together.
Yeah, fuck
Go
you.
through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Yeah, fuck you, broom closet.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go.
There we go.
There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Do we need more?
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think it's appropriate. You see?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket. That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, ah, it's a bucket. There
It is indeed.
a wide variety of applications for this sticker.
Anything can become a bucket now. Do we have more? More stickers?
You know what? I could take the name-calling and the dismissal of your kinship with the bucket, but now the broom closet is just giving us the silent treatment. And to be honest, I'm sick of the pettiness on display. You can stay here all you like, but I've had it with this impetulant room of cleaning supplies. Easily the most childish such room I've ever been in. I'll see you outside, and we can get on with the story about you and your bucket.
Okay, well, I guess there's not going to be any more in here. Unless... Does that do anything? Okay, well, we're going. So...
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Did we ever take the bucket downstairs? Can't really remember.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket.
No.
The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket,
But it has my sticker on it.
I end up with someone else's bucket. This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, it froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
Oh, Jesus.
It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Well, that's one way to...
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Okay.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Well, that's a happy ending for her, at least. Okay. Wait, what?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Now, there are two endings I want to try that I know
Stanley
of
came to a set
right
of
now.
2 open doors. He entered the door on his...
So, let's try the first one without the bucket. And then we'll bring the bucket next
Yet
time.
there was not a single person here either.
Jesus,
Feeling
this
a
game is
wave of
fucking
disbelief,
strange.
Stanley decided to go up to his... Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I did indeed.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
And here, apparently, if we do this...
Stepping into...
Now, apparently, we can get another ending down here. Okay, not here. Just the normal way. Okay, this is kind of creepy now. Usually he says a lot of things. And he stopped saying things. So apparently this ending we can do with the bucket and without. Okay. Okay, we're fine. We're doing good. Okay, where does this lead? You are now leaving. Escape pod bay. That door is closed. Things got creepy all of a sudden. It's kind of dark here. Okay, it does not open. Sure is dark. Okay, I'm not sure how long this goes, but we'll just follow it as long as we can. Is this another one of those never-ending things, or does this actually lead anywhere? The number goes up, so we are going somewhere, I think. Right? Okay, one more. There we go. Escape pod. Escape, okay. That sounds like what we want. Okay, there's something over here. Okay. Now what's gonna happen? Are we gonna get a cutscene or just... Nope. Well, if we bring the bucket to that, apparently that gives us another thing. So that's gonna be our last thing before we end the
Stanley
game.
decided to go to the meeting room. The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay, so we're gonna escape with the bucket.
Still no one was here.
And we're gonna end the
Stanley
game.
needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss... Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours. But alas, no stickers.
Sure, come on, you have one more sticker, right? You gotta have more stickers. Okay, okay. No more stickers.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Did we ever try the elevator with the bucket? This might do something different.
Stanley.
Okay, I guess nothing's happening. Okay, let's just escape and end the game. Stepping what? What was that? Oh, cat got your tongue, narrator. That's fine. Okay, well, the game has been very interesting. It's really fun. It's just it took a while until I kind of understood the concept of getting all these endings. So there's no like true ending as far as I can tell. There's just a bunch and you can just find them and have fun. And they're all weird and creepy and all kinds of shit and funny, so I really liked it, but I think it's time to end it here, because otherwise we're gonna tread over some of the same ground way too much before we actually find anything new. And I mean, if you want to see them all, you can just go on YouTube, I guess. And I think I got most of them. There's probably like a few convoluted ones I didn't get. Like this one was kind of tricky, I guess, if you didn't know about it. But yeah, anyway, fun game, really strange. And yeah, some of my favorite things, I don't know, like the ending with the skip button and the like passing of like millions of years or whatever happened. That was kind of a like strange one. Just it made you feel, because Stanley would be dead in that case, I guess, but he doesn't, so there's something weird happening there, and that's kind of just surreal. Okay, well, it seems we're at the end of the game here, so thanks for watching, and let's see what happens. Oh, we gotta keep walking. Okay. Here we go. Escape pod. Nothing behind us. Okay, this is different. Pure bucket. Good bucket. That's a good boy. It's time to leave, my friend. We spent a lot of time together, the two of us. But now, everything must come to an end. Goodbye, my friend. Goodbye.